Hey, what's going on, guys? Back with another video. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be a pretty interesting week. It'll be it'll be from the 10th to the 15th of October. It'll be interesting because we're right about to make new lows. We're like at this interesting spot where we're about to make new lows on Nasdaq and S&P 500, SPY and QQQ basically. But we're not there yet. Right? We closed Friday right above, slightly above, not that far off. Let's see how far we off. Friday we closed right here. Yeah, literally less than 1% off from there. So really close, right? So that's it's gonna be interesting because we have minutes on Wednesday. We have a bunch of Fed speakers. So right, any volatility day with a negative 1% day would just send us back to new lows on the daily and 52-week lows and everything. Right? Stocks aren't looking good either. Lots of stocks are looking very ugly. So I wouldn't anticipate this to run. Although some stocks are looking alright. They're kind of holding a little bit stronger than others, but the overall market isn't uptrending. Lots of stocks are down, and they look like they have a little bit more down to go before bouncing, or before we need to form a proper base before bouncing. You just want to go against each other. Like every rally sold. This rally sold. This rally sold. That's kind of consolidation up here. This area right here. But let's get into it. So for this week, I'm looking for a long, like for a quick scalp long above 92, possibly targeting this 57 right here, right? Because we have this pivot right here, this area, and it's kind of like the middle balance on this 7 a.m. breakout. So anywhere between this like 55 area. I'm sorry, it's 55 area right here. And then above the 55, it probably just shoots up 275, and then if it doesn't stop at 275, then the next resistance at 378. But I don't think we'll just bounce 400 points right away. 400 points is $10 on QQQ. That's a pretty big move. See, it's already down 50 points from the 92 highs. Like that's a dollar on QQ, not starting too well already. We were about to go green, but it rejected on the 1 hour. So these are my levels for NQ. Basically, anything under 11,000. Like by tomorrow, I mean, I'd probably expect us to test 952. And then 952 is just 60 points away from new lows, so it'll probably just be a liquidity magnet there. If we're looking at the 4 hour, it's still super ugly, right? It's this. I see the wicks. Maybe that's what you're thinking, but this is basically just rejecting. This is making like kind of lower highs, right? It's rejecting the 92 area if it doesn't break above. If it doesn't break here, then it could just rally and then just shoot back down. And if you look at the daily, the really long daily. Right? Oops. It's not like looking good or anything, right? We still have, like, we have the slow right here that we tested and we held. I mean, we did break lower, but like as you see here, 10,900 is a pretty big level, right here, in this area right here. But the bigger level is at 10,450, and then an even bigger one's at almost 10,000. This is eventually where I think we'll go test 10,000 in the near future. I don't know how soon. Obviously, I don't have a time thing on me, but I'm thinking 10,000 right here, and definitely 10,400. I think this is a big liquidity area that we still need to test. Say area here on these 2 wicks at 600. Um, but like now you can see why 10,900 is holding, right? This area, pivot, right? So we know why it's bouncing, but the bigger liquidities, it's probably somewhere around here. Somewhere the bigger orders are sitting around here. But yeah, basically these are my levels. That's how I'm looking to play it. I'll probably just take a short under 11,000. If it depends on how fast and when. Like I'm not gonna take it if it's chopping around 11,000. But if it swipes through 11,000, like that's something that a lot of you have to pick up. It's how prices reacting to the level. Just because it broke above or just because it broke under doesn't mean I'm gonna trade it. It's how it breaks it, like how aggressive is it or how slow is it, and when. In the morning, that's where the most volume is at. That's where the price moves really fast and aggressive. But in the afternoon, it tends to chop. It's not afternoon, it's after hours. But for example, this is an afternoon right here. This is an afternoon right here. This is an afternoon right here, right? This is where the market chops because of lunch hour and stuff. So right, if it breaks 11,000 afternoon, I'm guessing it'll just wake up. But if it breaks it right away in the morning, you could expect a 100-point move to the downside even more. But I don't think anything big will happen until the minutes on Wednesday. Just because we need to hear what the if Powell's speaking or Kashkari or whatever who's speaking. But if tomorrow opens like really fast under 11K, then we could take an easy short to targeting 950s, 960s, and then possibly new lows with runners or something. Or long over 11,100, targeting 30, 40 points. But scalping's the way in this market because moves are extremely violent. Next, so these are my levels, right? Basic 11,100, 275, 378, and then yeah, I mean there's a tiny level right here at 555, but over 340, you could definitely expect a long rally to the upside to like 700s, and then the short under 11,000 probably gets you new lows, and then new lows sends you to 600s, 666, and then 453. Okay, and we got ES. ES is also basically the same thing, right? But different levels. Obviously, ES is a little bit stronger. It's weird because they have this like weird correlation. Where QQ should be faster. But here's ES, right? We have the 3620, and we have the 3600 supports, so we know why it's holding, right? We see this basically the breakout retest. We have the support right here, and then yeah, like you can see why now 3620 to 3615 was holding, but under 3615 now because that would break Friday's lows, right? We'd probably just target 3590, and then under 3590 that would only be 20 points on the lows, and like I said, that'd just be another liquidity magnet. But for ES, looking at the bigger overall frame, I do expect this says 3400 somewhere in the near future. Like we see right here, the 3530, some support, like just some volume there. So you see a volume cluster here, but the bigger area where liquidity is probably sitting would be at 3400 or even 3200, 3240. But that's another 400. That's like 10. How big of a drop would that be? Yeah, that'd be 11%. So it's not a small drop. Could happen in a week, probably in 2 weeks, but like a 2 week time frame. Not saying next week or something. But yeah, this is basically my plan for ES as well. It's the same thing as NQ, right? If it breaks under this 3620 or even 3630, 3625, you can take short targeting 3613, and then under 3613 you get 3590. Then 3590 probably sends you to new lows, to 70 or even lower, right? But the long can work over 3650 or 3652, targeting 75. So a pretty large move to the upside. Then one more long to 3690. That's where the next resistance, bigger resistance, should be at. We see the resistance right here, double support turned resistance right here, right? So this is where the next resistance could be, over 3650. Would probably be like that's a 30, 40, 50 point move, so that's not bad either. And then over that, we probably just get 3700s. Right? Same thing with NQ. Yeah, I mean, looking at the 1 hour, it's still extremely ugly. Like, if you just don't go against the channel unless it's really clear. But for me to take like a big long position, I'd probably want this to crack new lows by a little bit and just try to make a small base, like some sort of like squiggly on it, so we can bounce higher, right? Maybe to 3800 or I don't know 3900 or something like that. But I do think this makes new lows. Although ES is holding a little bit higher than NQ, like if we look right here, ES is holding higher than NQ, and then look at NQ, right? It's a lot closer to new lows. But they both look pretty shit, right? We have the data swipe down. It's pretty anticipated in. But yeah, it's pretty obvious we get new lows. But yeah, these are pretty much my levels. Yeah, I mean, no stocks are looking good either. We have Google. It's not really looking too well. Right, so this 100 support really needed to hold, but all of a sudden it failed, and So that's a really ugly sign. Microsoft, super ugly as well. It's been extremely weak recently. It has a dividend coming up. So we could ramp to the dividend and then sell later. Nvidia, same story. Probably new lows, super weak too. So you see here, nothing to really long the market. Right? Shot, broke the base, rejected the old base, right? And now it's going lower. TSM semiconductors, SMH. So, like everything is really ugly. QQ, those are actual trading hours. Oh my, ignore the levels. Let's go back to NQ. Right, it's still super ugly. Like this isn't really a long setup. This definitely breaks this base right here. And tomorrow, I doubt we just chop around. But yeah, I mean the two levels. I don't recommend you trading in the middle. So the two levels that you would just trade off of are 11,000 and 11,100, right? Anywhere in the middle, it's not worth it. It's for 30, 40 points for $1 on QQQ. You'll just get chopped around. You'll get stopped and it'll run. You'll get stopped and it'll drop. It's not worth it. So just trade the edges for a bigger probability. And yeah, and size down if you can until the meeting's over, until the Fed speakers are over, so you can get a better view of the market. So you could kind of avoid the volatility with size, so you don't trade emotionally and trade the chart, not with your size. But yeah, but those are my levels. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Thanks for watching and take care.